Hello everyone, my name is Jerry, or Jerry's07, and I mix music for fun on YouTube. One of those mixes that I had made that actually got a lot of attention was my Gothic Hardcore-ish mix. It's currently the most viewed Gothic Hardcore mix on YouTube, which I'm very honored about. But with it being the most viewed Gothic Hardcore mix, it's also brought in a lot of questions as to what Gothic Hardcore is. So I wanted to just sit down and explain what it is to the best of my ability, such as with the structure of it, why it's even Gothic, and just give some more insight as to the genre as a whole, and just get more people interested in it. I really like mixing it, so I want to bring that passion that I have for Gothic Hardcore out to everyone else. Let me get into explaining what is Gothic Hardcore. So Gothic Hardcore is a subgenre of EDM that specializes in having a more Gothic feel to it. Here are some of the notable artists to look at when looking at Gothic Hardcore. There's a long list of them, but they're all very unique in their own way, so I definitely recommend checking each and every single one of them out. So what I mean by having a more Gothic feel is like Middle Ages Gothic, not current Gothic culture, which is something that got confused for a lot of people. And my reasoning for that is just looking at the song structure. A lot of the song structure for Gothic Hardcore follows very similar song structure to traditional Gothic music. And what I mean by this is just looking at the chord progressions. The chord progressions that are used in Gothic Hardcore songs are Gothic in nature, and the leads are also Gothic in nature, but being more modern when it comes to the leads. But when it comes to the foundation of Gothic Hardcore, it is more Gothic oriented rather than just being like any other EDM song. So let me get more into that. So what I'm mainly going to look at when it comes to Gothic Hardcore is the chord progressions and how the leads are structured. Both of these aspects are what make Gothic Hardcore Gothic in nature. And a video that I'm going to be using to look at this is a video titled How to Make Gothic Hardcore. It is a video made by a Gothic Hardcore producer by the name of CS4W. They are very talented in what they do, and I'm going to be referencing their video a lot in this video just to give a sound explanation as to what I'm talking about. Instead of just saying what it is, I can just use the video and give an audio example, actually explain more as to what it actually all sounds like. So looking at the video made by CS4W and how to make Gothic Hardcore, when it comes to the chord progressions, they chose very Gothic chords such as C sharp minor, C augmented, E, F sharp minor, C sharp minor, B augmented, and G sharp. All these different chords help to give a song a more Gothic feel, and it's shown in the video when you hear the piano play. It is very Gothic in nature, and this is some of the foundation that you can see in a lot of Gothic Hardcore music. All the chords are either played on a piano, a harpsichord, or anything else really. They're all gonna have this foundation that helps just to give it the overall Gothic feel. So now that we've looked into the chord structure of Gothic Hardcore, we can now also look at how the leads are structured. Every lead in Gothic Hardcore music is very unique, and it can be heard in a lot of different ways. Here are some examples of leads in Gothic Hardcore music, including the lead produced by CS4W in the How to Make Gothic Hardcore video. So those are some of the examples of the more fast-paced leads in Gothic Hardcore. As you can see, it fits with the style of Japanese hardcore EDM very well. A lot of Gothic Hardcore artists are Japanese artists as well. But another thing to take note of is not every single Gothic Hardcore song is going to have a very obvious, identifiable lead just like these. So another way to identify Gothic Hardcore is the use of ambience. Some examples of these are like with church bells, choir voices, the glockenspiel, strings, horns, stuff like that to help give it a bigger, more full sound and give it an even more Gothic feel. So one more thing you may be asking is, are these leads even Gothic? And my answer to this is not really, but there could be some explanation as to why they could be Gothic. That explanation is given by CS4W, the Gothic Hardcore producer that I've used examples of in this video. They've explained that for Gothic leads that they make specifically, they make it so that the leads have a slight semitone shift, and they say that it helps to give a more Gothic feel. This is definitely something that you have to identify in other Gothic Hardcore songs. To me, I can notice that slight semitone shift in a lot of CS4W songs that are Gothic Hardcore. When it comes to other Gothic Hardcore songs, you have to listen out for that as well. So that's how you can consider some of these leads Gothic, even though they are more modern when it comes to modern electronic music, instead of being just like modern or historical Gothic music. The final thing I want to add to this Explaining Gothic Hardcore video is explaining the hardcore aspect of Gothic Hardcore. Obviously, hardcore music, if you don't know how that sounds like, it's very aggressive, has very aggressive kicks for the drops, and they also have the leads on top, and this can be seen in Gothic Hardcore music. I've shown you examples of this already earlier in the video, and that's how a lot of these songs can be considered hardcore. But that's not the main issue that I wanted to tackle. There are other versions of Gothic EDM music. I found Gothic trance before. There is all types of different Gothic styled EDM music. So even the songs that I've used in my Gothic Hardcore mixes, not all of them may be considered specifically Gothic Hardcore. Some of them have different styles. Some of them can be considered terrorcore, some of them can be considered drum step, high tech. It's however you identify it. Most of the songs that I do use are Gothic Hardcore, but not all of it is going to be. You can be able to identify other genres of EDM in it, but the foundation of it is Gothic in nature, and it's just pretty much like Gothic styled EDM rather than just specifically Gothic Hardcore. With that final note, that concludes my Explaining Gothic Hardcore video. I hope I was able to give you some more insight as to what Gothic Hardcore is, what the Gothic elements are, and just explaining that there isn't just specifically Gothic Hardcore. There are other versions of Gothic EDM as well, and it's all centered around historical Gothic music rather than current Gothic culture. Once again, thank you very much for watching this video, and if you would like more updates as to what's going on with me, be sure to look out in my community tab. I try to post there when it comes to video updates as much as possible. I know I haven't posted there in a while, but obviously my last post was talking about this video as well as my third Gothic Hardcore mix, and about that'll be coming out within the next month or so. I wanted to get this video out first and then get the Gothic Hardcore 3 mix out after that. So I'm gonna start gathering more and more music for that so that I can give you guys another Gothic Hardcore mix. And obviously you can find those updates in my community tab. If not, you can also follow me on Twitter. I don't give as much updates there, but you can kind of see what I'm up to in the meantime. And one final note, if any Gothic Hardcore producers or artists are for some reason watching this video and would like to add on to the points that I had made, I'm very open to making a second Explaining Gothic Hardcore video, mainly going into what the artists think of Gothic Hardcore, and if they can explain it better than I have very basic music knowledge. I did music for around 8 years. I know very basic music theory and music history as well. That's kind of what I use to make this video and just explain everything. And I hope I was able to give the best explanation. And if not, if other Gothic Hardcore artists want to hop in and say something, I'm more than open to giving them that platform to be able to do that. Now, that is all. Thank you again for watching, and I hope you take care.